Hey everyone, so this is Gabby and I'm doing this video kind of as a follow-up from a video that I've done about 2 weeks ago or whatever, and it was talking about how I felt that, I was graduating and what the expectations for me were and how I wasn't very happy with the expectations, and I wasn't looking forward to getting like a regular job and like starting, you know, the typical 9 to 5 routine type thing that I think is, looking at it from the perspective that I'm at in this point of my life, that sounds extremely taxing. It sounds kind of depressing, and like it seems that it would just suck all the life out of my body. So I'm just talking about how I wasn't looking forward to that. So I've been doing some research probably since January. I've been like literally typing in Google how to get a untraditional, non-typical job, how to be free in your life, how to get it, what jobs gives the most freedom, blah blah blah. I've looked into the Peace Corps. I've looked into Teach for America. I've looked into different jobs that allow you to go abroad because I study. Traveling is very important to me. I looked into any atypical job that would allow me to get an experience that I could not get going to one place every day from 9 to 5, doing the same duties, blah blah blah. I'm not interested in that. If anyone out there is interested in that, and that is something that you are going to do after you graduate, that's okay. Everyone is different. Everyone has their own destiny. Um, and I truly believe that whatever a person does is going to shape how their future becomes. Like everything we're doing is kind of like, I don't even know why I'm saying I believe that. That's like a fact. But anyways, basically what I'm saying is that like I want to do something atypical so it can set me up for an atypical life. I don't want a standard life. I want a life that is exciting. I want a life that's invigorating, a life that will give me joy and allow me to learn new things every day. I'm just not like a 9 to 5 type of person. But anyway, so I've been doing a lot of research and I kind of settle on something. I'm really scared to even speak on it. It seems so big and so grand, but I've been telling people, so like I've spoken into existence. I've actually told classmates, because everybody always asks you the famous question, oh, what do you want to do after you graduate? So I've been getting that question, of course, and I've been telling people. So I feel like it's time to start speaking about it more often and just make it a reality, because it's something that I want to do. I've researched it since February. So for 3 months, I've been researching it. I watched videos on it on YouTube. I've read every article online about it. And I've come to the conclusion that I want to teach English in South Korea. And I actually applied to the Epik program, which stands for English Program in Korea. And it's working for the Korean Ministry of Education. It's one of the most well-respected programs for English speakers to join to, get that abroad experience teaching. So it's a year-long contract. So I actually applied for the August class, or no, actually the semester starts in September, but you would go in August for orientation. So I applied for that, and I don't know. I'm a very like detail oriented person, so I had a really hard time with the application just because I wanted it to be perfect, and I kept reading it over, making sure I didn't make any mistakes, because I kept reading online that any mistakes made, they'll just throw it out. So I was really, really careful. I got through that process. I got an email saying that I was granted an interview. So I went through the interview. Once again, I did a lot of studying. I was very diligent about making sure that I went in the interview knowing what questions they were going to ask me and being well prepared for it. So I went to the interview, it was pretty easy, but once again, I do think it was easier for me because I actually did a lot of studying beforehand so I could prepare myself for what to expect. And so I did the interview. I got an email about 3 days later saying that I passed the interview. Yay, that's great. So now I'm in this whole weird process of like trying to get my paperwork together so I can get my visa. It's really stressful because one part of applying for your visa to go teach abroad is to get a background check, an FBI background check. So I went through that, and it takes like 2 to 3 months for this process to end. So I actually applied back in March. I didn't get anything in the mail, so I called the FBI and I'm like, hey, what's up with my background? And they were like, oh, your fingerprints failed. And I'm like, wow, so there's like a wasted 5 weeks of me waiting. And I don't know, it was just really stressful. So anyways, I got the fingerprints again. I actually got 2 copies this time around. And so I went through the process again. I sent it out, and I actually expedited it by working with the FBI channeler. So hopefully I'll be getting the results back next week, and then I can send it to get apostilled because it's a long process. But anyway, so I'm going through the process of teaching abroad because I do not want to limit myself. And one thing that was going to stop me from teaching abroad was the fact that I wasn't sure how it would look to employers once I get back. Say I want to get a typical social work job and they see that on my resume. I didn't know how they would react. So that was actually going to hold me back from going through the process. But I told myself no, because I'm not going to let anything limit me from what I want to do. I'm not going to let a master's degree in social work limit me. And I'm not going to try to stay in some box that, you know, I'm supposed to stay in. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And one of my main goals in life is to be free. So with that being said, to anyone out there who is working a 9-to-5 job and you hate it, you don't think it's for you, you do have options. And even if it's not picking up and like teaching abroad, like you have plenty of other options. You know, a lot of people do freelance and they work for themselves. So like if you're doing work at a job that you could do solo, that's another option. Like do research on possibly opening up your own business, or there's so many different ways. Or maybe if you're working in an office environment and you're not happy with that, you could always switch jobs. And I'm not saying it like it's easy, because I know in this time it is very difficult to get a job. It's horrible. But I'm saying like with time you can set yourself up to be in a position where you can get a job in the future that will be more enjoyable to you. So I just want everyone to know that you have options, and you don't have to you don't have to live a life that you don't want to live. Because I told myself when I graduate, I don't want to work a 9-to-5. I'm not looking forward to that. So the first step was for me to realize that. And then my second step was for me to do something about it. Because if I was to get a 9-to-5 job, I couldn't even complain about it. Like if I was to apply and get hired, I couldn't even complain because I set myself up to get that job. I went through all this work to get that job. So like, instead of complaining, I knew I had to do something about it. So that's what I'm doing now. And I know it's really wacky. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to do for my career, because I mean, I would like to have a career in social work eventually. And I mean, this isn't too far from social work because I'm working in a public school and like I'm helping people who may be from poor communities. A lot of the time the students will be from poor communities, and teaching them English is a great way to make sure that they're more successful economically and socially in their future. So it's not too far removed from social work, but it's not like, you know, working in a nonprofit or doing a typical social work job. So I don't know how this is gonna be perceived by future employers, but I can't let that hold me back. And who knows, maybe this will open me up to opportunities that I've never would have had I not gone through this process. So I'm gonna try not to worry about the future and all that, and I'm just gonna take it one day at a time. But I'm really excited that I don't have to get like a typical job, because you guys know I just was not looking forward to it. But I just wanted to share that and just share the words of encouragement to anyone out there that you don't have to settle for something that you don't want. You can make changes through a lot of research, sweat, tears, and hard work, and get what you want out of life. So I'll talk to you later, and thanks a lot.